Hello and welcome to Sega Saturdays, GamesRadar's new show that talks about classic Sega games every Saturday. Pretty self-explanatory. I'm GamesRadar UK's executive editor Andy Hartup, and I'm joined by the entire UK team: Justin Towell.
Hello.
Dave Horton.
Hello.
And Ian Mr. Trophy Wilson.
Hello.
So just to give you a brief idea of the concept, every week we're going to record footage from a classic Sega game, and we're going to talk over it. We're going to have some regular features, some little games and stuff like that. Hopefully it'll be a nice little wrap up for you guys, and you get to see some nostalgic game footage as well. So that's all great. Kicking off this week with Streets of Rage 2, which topped our best Mega Drive games ever list. Of course, if you're American, that's the best Genesis games ever list. So let's get started. Okay, so you can see the game playing in the background. Dave, how do you think Streets of Rage is holding up? Just looking at it.
Too badly. No, I think it's okay actually. As a man who got into Street Fighter rather than scrolling stuff back in the day, I've never been mega impressed by scrolling. Hey, all the gangs have started. See the level we're operating on here already. I've never been overly impressed by scrolling fighters because apart from Final Fight, for some reason, maybe moustaches. But I've always found them to be like sort of a 10-second snippet of a real fighting game stretched over an hour. But the more I see of Rage 2, the more it does seem to be like quite a bit deeper than the usual. It's
doing pretty well, isn't it? How about you, Ian? What do you make of it? You quite like a good old Sega game every now and again, don't you?
I do, yeah. I mean, it's looking pretty strong. This, so I've actually sort of played this reasonably recently with the PSN remake. So obviously that had a little bit of up-res graphics and that side of things, but
are you saying these aren't good enough?
No, I'm saying that for their time these are holding up pretty well.
Cool,
pretty good.
So in our first regular feature on the Sega Saturdays, we're going to obviously regular readers will know that Justin is I think he might be the world's biggest Sega fanboy. So what we're going to do is we're going to challenge Justin in a section I like to call Justin's Sega Fact Challenge. What we're going to ask is we're going to ask Justin to reel off as many facts about Streets of Rage 2 as he can in 30 seconds. Now, just full disclosure, I've given him time to research these facts, but he doesn't have them written down, so this is all coming from memory.
So, one question about this section though, how do we verify they are facts? Because he could just start making stuff up if he gets stuck.
We will have to do them later in edit.
Right, yeah. By the time you hear it, they are definitely facts.
Yeah. So, Justin, are you ready to give us some hard facts?
As ready as I'll ever be, yes.
Okay, your time starts now.
Okay, the game came out in 1992 in America. It came out in 1993 in Japan and the UK. Skate is called Sammy in the US, but he is called Eddie in the UK. There's an extra life on the first screen. In the beta version, Max was a sort of gorilla type guy, had lots of hair on him, which is weird. You can't port it to a 3DS very easily because it contains vertical scrolling as well as horizontal. In the pirate stage, the background actually rotates, which the Mega Drive technically shouldn't be able to do, so that's a very clever trick.
That is time.
What did I get, 5?
I have no idea.
Quite literally some facts.
Yeah, there were some facts. We will give you a total on the screen when we counted them up and verified them and made sure that they weren't just conjecture by Justin. But,
if only they thought of the 3DS when they made it. I mean, that was bad foresight.
Just careless, to be honest with you. So going back to the game now, Streets of Rage 2. I think one of the biggest things for me was that it was co-op.
Yeah.
So I mean that was a big deal, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, you can drop in and drop out by dying, but yeah, player two could literally press start whenever they wanted and just join in as long as there was a continued episode.
Sorry, Gears of War, you did not invent that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is you and I playing, isn't it, Justin?
Yeah. And, I was Skate and you were Blaven.
We were doing okay.
Yeah.
We weren't dropping out by dying too much.
No, and we only hit each other over the head with the lead pipe a couple of times.
Yeah, actually, that reminds me of a little anecdote I've got about Streets of Rage 2. Yeah. If you guys are okay with listening to it for a little while.
Yeah, go for it, man. Yeah.
So anyway, back when I was a teenager, because this was like 92, 93, I was on holiday in Spain, and Anyway, the room was just like covered in stuff. Like seriously, the walls were caked in it.
Oh god.
You know, look, I've never seen that many dwarves in one place, but I mean,
This has gone dark. This has gone really dark.
and we just kept prodding her with a stick, but she wasn't moving.
Oh,
so
dear.
anyway,
Just
I'm
we
not
cannot
sure.
run
No, we
this.
can't.
Right? Just sort this in the edit, please, or one of us is getting fired.
so yeah, the potato looked a bit like Simon Cowell, but then anyway, I woke up the next morning and found the Streets of Rage cartridge next to my swimming shorts, so I just took it home.
Is it even legal for us to run this on the site?
Nothing about this is legal from this
I
point
thought I
on.
was okay.
No,
Well, we'll do something with it in the edit, I'm sure.
never
it'll
tell
be
that
fine.
story again.
So we've covered an awful lot about Streets of Rage 2, and it's a pretty diverse game. It's got co-op, it's got single player, but it's actually also got multiplayer too.
Right.
Proper one-on-one.
Yeah, proper one-on-one. Now it's worth noting, as you can see now, it's not really Street Fighter, is it?
There's a street and there is fighting.
Yeah. And there's a oh dear.
Oh,
there's a big dude against a dude in like quite a tight t-shirt. You
Yeah.
know, it's similar in that way.
There's strange undercurrent and
Yeah.
a large pipe object.
This didn't exactly set the world alight, and you can't really describe it as the template for multiplayer game. I think it was quite an admirable effort, though, wasn't it, guys?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that always impressed me about Streets of Rage more than some other scrolling fighters is that it did seem to have like tried to have that sort of depth that what I call a real fighting game does. There was like a hell of a lot of depth and combo ability to it and stuff.
Yeah, plus the sprites are really big. I mean, these days I suppose they look quite small, but at the time they were pretty massive. Look how big Max is.
He's a giant man.
He is
Yeah.
a big old
Oh,
sprite, isn't he?
Which
with
is
his
a
giant
fact,
pipe.
It's a fact that I missed off. Max isn't in the 8-bit version, I guess, because
Sorry, late fact submission.
No, you can't
Because-
retcon facts. I'm not even sure this is true. I bet he's totally
he's
in it.
not in it. He's not. I guess because he's too big.
I bet he's the only character in it. You're making this up.
Skates in.
Okay, so we're gonna round off the feature part of this show with what we're calling Dave's haiku review. So Dave's going to review Streets of Rage in a haiku,
Yeah.
and hopefully it'll all be beautiful.
Yeah, because I figure with the amount of nostalgia at play with these games, the only way to really cut through all that is just go for the pure spirit of the game.
So, silence, please, for this haiku.
Right. Walking down the road with friend, I'm not alone, and I have chicken.
Strong.
Dave, that was a haiku.
Yeah. yes, it was.
Oh dear, 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Which is one less than we would have given this game at review.
So anyway, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed. What you heard and what you saw on screen. Obviously, if you like it, leave us comments. If you don't like it, then don't leave us any comments.
Keep that to yourself.
Yes, just keep that shit to yourself. We will hopefully be back next week, unless we get shut down because of the contents of my story.
You are getting shut down.
Yeah, we'll be here.
Once we become a regular series, you'll be able to subscribe and expect more classic, nostalgia-coated Sega games in the coming weeks.
Love your retro content? Well, we've got loads more of that for you. Up here in the top left, we've got Castle of Illusion, where we compare the original 1990 game to the 2013 remake. Also comparison-wise, in the top right there, we've got Crazy Taxi City Rush on mobile, which we've run alongside the original Crazy Taxi to see how they compare. If for some reason Sega's not your thing, I'm quite amazed you got this far in the video, to be honest, but you could watch our Smash Brothers videos. In this case, we've got the recently announced weapons. Enjoy.